YouTube, it has been 3 years, 3 months, and 25 days since we have stepped foot or slide canceled on Verdansk. But today, we're going back. Now, welcome to Season 3 of Black Ops 6 and Warzone, and the return of the OG Warzone map we've been waiting for. Now, whether you've been playing Warzone since Verdansk or haven't touched the game since it left, before you guys dive in, I got you guys with all of the best settings you'll need and the basic tips and tricks if you guys haven't played in a while to get you guys that first dub. And also, make sure to send this to a friend. All right, now let's dive straight into these settings here. Obviously, I can't play Warzone yet because at the time of recording this video, it's not out yet. But all the settings for Season 3 and stuff are, which is going to be the same thing for Warzone. So I got you guys with that and all the tips and tricks. Now, I do apologize if I sound kind of weird or I look like I'm Kentucky fried. The pollen on the East Coast is crazy right now, so I've been dying. But let's get straight into these graphic settings here. Now, all this stuff is obviously, well, I say some of it, but will be personal preference. I did play on console for a long time, so I can give you guys those settings too. Now, starting off with the PC settings, I am on full screen exclusive. I see some people playing on borderless. I would definitely say play exclusive. It does help reduce your input lag and also will give you those maximum frames. So obviously have all of that set. Your display adapter, make sure that is set to your GPU. And pretty much all this stuff here is pretty basic. Your brightness does depend on your monitor. If you are on console, make sure to turn off HDR unless you're like on a big screen TV or something like that. There's not many gaming monitors that I've played on, at least, that actually do help using HDR. So make sure to turn that off and then adjust your brightness from there. Also on my monitor settings, I do have the brightness max and the saturation boosted a little bit on my gaming monitor. So turn that off, but then go into the game settings and adjust that. I do have my reflex or latency on plus boost, custom for eco mode and off over here. Again, important setting, make sure to have HDR off. I had that on for a day and I was like, why does my game look so dark? That's probably why. And obviously the rose skin back and broken skins, you won't see anybody. Now going on to quality here. This is very, very important because I see a lot of content creators and people flexing their frames. I do have a super computer, no flex, but it's very, very important also to actually have a good quality game. One, for me, so you guys actually see good gameplays, good recordings, clips, but two, because it's very, very important to see people in the game with good quality settings. If I put everything on very low, my game looks like Play-Doh and it looks horrible and I'm gonna get slammed even with 500 FPS. So I have a lot of settings on normal or high for that reason. So let's get straight into it. My upscaling, I do have on Fidelity Cast and on 90. That, from my testing, has been the best for a very, very long time to make your game look the best. VRAM, I do have on 90 also. My PC has been running buttery smooth because I just got a new CPU and I just got it tuned, so it's been smooth. But if you guys are experiencing kind of stuttering or hitching, turn this down in game. Also, make sure to have on variable rate shading. Very, very important setting here. And now we're getting into the details and textures. Have my textures on normal, texture filter high, depth of field off, detail quality normal, very low, bullet impacts on, persistent off, shader quality low, and on-demand texture streaming on optimized. Now, again, this is kind of like a personal preference setting. This will make my game look a little bit better. I also have fiber optic internet and I have a lot of storage on my PC. So obviously I have that on max because sometimes the textures look better. I have been kind of playing around with these two settings. For now, it's on optimized. So yeah. I also have my local texture streaming quality on normal. Keeping going here, I have my shader quality on normal, all of these off, and static reflection quality low. Tessellation off, low, off for all these. Next, it's gonna be very, very, very important, and a lot of people get this and these settings wrong. FOV, as you can see here, this is gonna be how zoomed out your screen is. Now, if you guys play very close to your gaming monitor like me, I play on 120, but just because you see me play on this doesn't mean you have to. If you guys play farther away, or you play on a TV or something like that, I would cut this down to maybe 105 to 110. And just because it's zoomed more out and you can see more, which is great, the enemies on your screen will be smaller, which means obviously it's a good thing and bad thing. There's pros and cons. Your guns will look like they have way less recoil. I see the comments like, Joe, how does your gun have no recoil? This is part of it because it's zoomed way out. If you catch yourself missing a lot of shots, I would definitely lower this FOV so it's more zoomed in and your opponents will be larger. Then on your ADS field of view, make sure this is unaffected, because if you play above anything over 80, if you're on independent, every time you ADS, it's gonna zoom back into 80 and it just looks funky. It's not good. Make sure to have this unaffected. Next, your weapon field of view. Obviously, as it says here, the gun will look smaller if you have it on wide, meaning obviously the gun will look like it has less recoil, but you'll see more of your surroundings, chest, opponents, things like that. Now going down here, world motion blur, weapon motion blur, please have off. I see people sending me clips all the time like, Joe, tips and tricks for my gameplay, help me out. And first thing I see is motion blur on. Please turn this off. First person camera movement on least. This can also help with all the shaking and stuff on the screen as you're playing. And that is it for the graphic settings. Let's get on to the controller. Now getting on to the controller settings. Before we do that though, in case you guys do not know, I have my own JoeWo SCUF controller collection, so make sure to click the link in the description down below. It is the perfect time to get you a new controller. Verdansk is coming out, level up your gameplay. I personally use a JoeWo SCUF Reflex FPS. That is gonna be the PS5 or PC controller, and it does have 4 beautiful paddles on the back, which I use for sliding, jumping, plating, and reloading. So that is going to be my bottom right paddle is my slide, my bottom left is my jump, my top left is my plate, and my top right is my square button or my reload button. So obviously I never have to take my thumbsticks and thumbs from my thumbsticks, and I can always use paddles. But that's just me though. They also have Xbox, they have PC, they have every single variant and controller that you want. Make sure to go check it out and get you one. So let's dive straight into these controller settings because they are obviously mucho important. Now, I do play on 1.6 sensitivity in case you guys are coming back to COD. For whatever reason, COD loves to change settings for fun, and they just changed it from the 1.1 or 6.6 or 7.7 cents to now 1 point blank numbers. 1.6 is supposed to be like 7.7, but honestly, it's slower than that. It feels the best for me. I did play on 7.7, and after I had it on, I think 1.8, which was supposed to be 7.7, and it did not feel like that at all. 1.6 has been the butter since for me. I love it. Now going down here, please, for all good things in my soul, turn off controller vibration. Mucho important. Now going down here, my left stick min I have on 2, my left stick max I have on 65, my right stick I have on 0, and the right stick max on 100. Now I see a lot of people, if they see me don't touch my right stick, I have a lot of stick drift. Now I try to explain this the best I can. I do have stick drift, but I personally like stick drift because centering and stuff is obviously very important, which I will be explaining here in a little bit as we kind of slide on to gameplay. But right stick min I have on 0, meaning the higher that you go, I see some people on 6, 7, 8, the higher you go with this number, that means the more you can input on your right stick and your screen is not gonna move. And I feel like that can cause a lot of inconsistencies in your aim while you're fighting, because you then have to fight your stick drift and the right stick min before you're engaging a target. So let's say that I am going into the firing range here. I can move my right stick right now and it's not gonna move. So I am currently moving my right stick and the screen is not moving. So that is gonna feel very weird and inconsistent as I'm fighting more people, because I cannot counter how it should feel with 0 dead zone if I have a higher dead zone. So that's why that I have it on 0, because it feels much more snappy, much more responsive as I'm fighting people, and I don't have to fight that current right stick min stick drift, because I don't ever take my thumbs from my thumbsticks. Shout out to SCUF for that, because I have paddles. Now going on to aiming here, we are into the sensitivity multiplier. I do play on 0.85, so technically I am on 1.6, 0.85 sensitivity multiplier. So as I am aiming down sights, it slows it down a little bit. Now, if you guys haven't played Call of Duty or Warzone in a while, Call of Duty has added a million more settings than what you're probably used to, so that's why I got you guys with a full video. Going down to advanced aiming settings here, make sure your ADS sensitivity transition timing is on instant, aim response curve is on dynamic and 1. This is what all the pros play on. This is what all the good players play on. Make sure to play on dynamic. Do not play on standard. I see a lot of people still saying that, and do not, for all good things, my soul, play on linear. Now, keeping going here, make sure to obviously have on aim assist. That's very, very important. And now let's get on to movement. Obviously, in case you guys don't know, movement has gotten nerfed with the current update from Black Ops 6 and Omni movement before this. But if you guys haven't played in a very long time, there's Omni movement, meaning that you can run left, right, backwards, and dive left, right, backwards, all that kind of stuff. Very, very different from the old movement. So make sure to have on your tactical sprint assist. This is basically the old automatic tactical sprint if you guys played Warzone 1. Obviously have this on 0, no sprint assist delay at all. So as you press in your left stick, that is an instant sprint. Sprint assist sideways and backwards on, and I have all of my mantle assist and crouch assist off. This is important because obviously as I'm fighting somebody, there's times I auto mantle stuff and dive forward, and I make sure to have all of this kind of stuff off. Corner slice, I also have off. This is personal preference, 100%. Try it on or off. I personally have it off. If you have it on, if you are on a corner, your character can like tilt and lean. It looks the exact same for your opponents. It does not affect anything. It's just personal preference. I just like it off. I also have my slide and dive behavior on hybrid. That means if I'm just sprinting and I press slide cancel or slide, it slides. If I'm holding in my left stick and press the slide button or circle, it dives. Again, that's all personal preference. You can also play slide only if you want to, but I think diving is very, very important now. Sprint and slide maintain sprint, I have both on. Parachute automatic behavior, please turn this off. I see a lot of people having this on even now. If you guys are coming back, this will be on by default. Make sure to turn this off, so as you're flying in, you can pull your parachute or splat, shout out Tim, closer to the ground instead of your parachute pulling way, way, way too high and you getting beamed out of the air. Mantle cancels reload, off, and onto the movement advanced settings. Toggle, off, 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 single tap sprint, trigger, and sprinting door bash on. Very, very important here. Make sure to have off grounded mantle. Again, this can happen a lot if you are like fighting somebody. You will accidentally mantle if you're sprinting forward and things like that. I personally have it off because I just press jump and make sure I jump when I'm trying to mantle something. Onto combat here, hold. I personally have off tac stance. I have never liked tac stance, but you can have tac stance on if you want to. I personally have it off. So onto the mount, I have that on ADS and melee. Obviously, that's gonna be very, very important for those very, very long range gunfights. Your dedicated melee weapon activation. I hope they add a button or some way to remap this later, but I have this as my hold melee, or if I hold in R3. Basically, if you guys don't know, there is no slide cancel to reset your tac sprint. What you can do is bring out your knife by holding in R3, and you can fully tac sprint forever, and then swap back to your gun, obviously, as you're like planning on fighting or about to fight. This is cool because now it's slide canceling. You don't have to spam it, circle, circle X over and over. Plates, apply all, and to the combat advanced settings. So in the combat advanced settings, there's two very important settings to have on. Interact and reload behavior on prioritize interact, meaning as you press square, you can loot, grab stuff instead, which is gonna be very, very important for Warzone, obviously, for chest and box. And sprint cancels reload, make sure to have this off. This comes on by default, so in case you are trying to reload, you can't run, and if you try to run, it cancels it. I don't know why this is on by default, but please turn this off. It will save your life. Depleted ammo also have off. If you run out of ammo, it will switch guns automatically. I like to change guns manually myself. Make sure to also have this off. Now on to the most important, which is going to be audio settings. Now, they did completely rework audio, so these settings might change, but for now, this is how I have it. Currently, I have my master game volume on 100, dialogue on 70, and the effects volumes on 100. I'm kind of deaf though, I'm not gonna lie, and I like to crank all my game sound and all my footsteps so I can try to hear people the best I can. I do have the enhanced headphone mode on. Treyarch Mix is the best that I've found, but I gotta be honest, the audio is so bad. I also have on the asymmetrical hearing compensation, and these are the current settings. I'm not gonna scroll down because it's very loud, but try these settings out and let me know. It's the same for these channels each, but try these out, let me know. Obviously, the audio is super bad, so this might change because of whatever they're changing or Warzone audio wise, but try this out. And last but not least, we are on to the interface settings here. Make sure, very important too, minimap shape is on square and not circle. By default, it does come on circle. That's not good. Make sure to change this to square so you can see more. Your minimap is the most important thing in the game. It shows you directions of players, what floor they're on, what height they're on, and make sure that you pay attention while you're popping, you know, portable radars, UAVs, all that kind of stuff. Mucho important, have this on square and not round. And I gotta be honest, crosshair. Static, very important too. I see a lot of people that have their full crosshair off or on. Make sure to have this on static, your crosshair dot on, crosshair spread on, and I have a green crosshair because I think it looks cool and I like it. Obviously, it can be blue, green, red, whatever. I personally love green. So change this, make sure your crosshair is on static. This will help you out a lot. And I gotta be honest, I think that's it. Now I'm sliding over to give you guys some new tips and tricks for Warzone, obviously now. Now make sure if you guys have made it this far in the video to send this to your squad or your duo that's coming back, because a lot of stuff has changed in Warzone. So as we go over here to, first, hold up, Battle Pass. Mucho importante. As you guys get the Battle Pass upgraded, or if you have the Black Cell, you do get one free page unlocked. Page 3 is the HDR, so the HDR will one-shot snipe from any range, which is crazy. So for all my beautiful snipers, top prison, this page is for you. On page 6, I believe, is the AMAX, which is dope. This is my baby. Probably gonna be the first gun that I run in general. And then I think, and then the kilo you get from just playing the game, or if you guys have played the game before Warzone drops, because it currently is a 24-hour free multiplayer period. If you guys just log in, you also get the kilo. Now, going over to weapons here, obviously here is your current loadouts. Now, what's different now is there is a new wild card as you play. So currently, I usually run Gunfighter, and what Gunfighter does is instead of having a 5 attachment loadout, you can run an 8 attachment loadout. So that means you can run a lot of very broken attachments to make your gun OP. And I usually run a Gunfighter AR, so obviously like right now, I have a fully Gunfighter AMAX. A lot of these guns will probably change though, but it's pretty freaking insane whenever you do choose Gunfighter. Now the cool thing is, now that you cannot buy your guns from a buy station, previously before the Verdansk update, you could buy your guns from a buy station, so it made it even better because I would have a Gunfighter AR from a loadout and then just buy a sub with 5 attachments for 2,500. But now they don't have that. So they took that out and now they have Overkill, which is, I think, definitely super buff now. So what Overkill is just like it was in the OG Verdansk days, is you can have 2 5 attachment guns. Now, I think I'm gonna run Gunfighter and just keep a good ground loot sub, but I'm still gonna be testing it out obviously tomorrow. So right now, as you can see, I have the current Overkill build, which is 5 attachments, and then a sub as the secondary here. And I think it's obviously buffed now because, like I said, you cannot buy your guns from a buy station now, which I personally love that change. So definitely that is 2 brand new things. Perk-wise, most likely I'm probably gonna be running Scavenger, which as you can see, when you grab your loadout, you get maximum ammo and you get more cash from dead bodies. Perk 2, I'm going to be having on Tracker, which highlights your opponents if they do not have on Cold-Blooded. So if you're shooting somebody, they will be highlighted bright red. You can also, because a lot of people do run Tracker, you can run Cold-Blooded or Quick Fix. Sprinter is also very good. You can tack Sprint forever, but like I said in the settings part, you can bring out your melee or knife and tack sprint also instead of sprinter. For perk 3, obviously, I'm a little bit cheesy. I love Resolute. That gives me a 15% speed bonus, and they did, for whatever reason, nerf the movement. So this is going to be even better. As I get shot at, I can move faster to escape bullets. And because the time to kill is faster now, escaping shots is going to be very, very important. You can also run Ghost or Bird's Eye, not bad options, or Tempered if you really want to, but I personally do love me some Resolute. I'm gonna also be rocking with smokes again and C4s. For those that haven't played, these were pretty much pointless until this update. Now C4s can one-shot vehicles and stuff again, except the Big Bertha, which takes 2 hits. Insane. Just like the old days of Verdansk, C4s are back. And it's great too because vehicles and stuff are going to be much more important as you are trying to escape zone, rotate early, all that kind of stuff, because there is now no PRDs or balloons, which I personally love. So vehicles are important again, so make sure to take those as you rotate, but be careful for C4s. Now that's going to be everything I'm covering in today's video. I will be dropping a ton of loadout videos and anything else that you guys would like to see. Movement guides, just let me know in the comments down below. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the map. Love y'all. Peace.